got this one.
Back. We are back. So, y'all see how those shorts played out? Look, just take a look at these shorts. Look at how those shorts played out. I want to show y'all something. Look. Look at that. I mean, we literally called that on stream. I kid you not. That's another one. If you would have took that trade, I didn't take it. I walked away from the market. But if you would have took the trade, come on now. We literally called that. And I called it at the 100% level. Obviously, it went to the next draw of liquidity, but that right there was the trade. And this is what I be talking about. This is what I be talking about. When I tell you that opportunities in the market present themselves and it's up to you to be able to take on those opportunities. Stop loss, obviously a little bit above midnight open. I mean, what else is there to say? Right now the market is choppy. It is very choppy right now in the market. So, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I want to show y'all something. I want to look at something real quick that's outside of the futures market. We're looking at super microcomputers, right? Look at the hit they took on SMCI. Obviously, we could go to the 1 hour chart to take a look at it. Or we could go intraday trading chart. Let's go to the 15. Look at SMCI. Can someone tell me what this structure is right here? If you could tell me what this structure is right here, I got something for you. No, seriously. Like if you could tell me what this structure is right here, I have something for you. And the only reason why I'm focused on this is because this right here is how true trading, like understanding market structure, understanding the ups and downs and lows that a market takes you on. It is clearly right here in SMCI. Like I really want to show y'all that. And we're gonna look at something else too. Like this place, I it's a restaurant, right? I don't eat here at this restaurant. I'm gonna tell you now. So don't think in your mind that I mean back in the day you could say like when your family kind of went out of town or you know, I don't even know. When your family went out of town and they wanted a place to eat or something like that or whichever the case may be, obviously was this the place? And we're gonna take a look at that when I show you all. But let's just look at this real quick on SMCI. Like, look at this. So I'm gonna go to something real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I know I have it on my matter of fact, I have to send it to myself. Hold on one second. Give me a second to send this, y'all. Give me 1 second.
It's a car beat.
I failed every.
All right. So we back. Y'all remember this? Do you all remember this? Do you remember this? And the reason why I'm asking you if you remember this, like this psychology chart, is for a couple of reasons, right? It's for a couple of reasons. The main reason why I'm asking you this is because when we were looking at SMCI, that's what it's given. Soon I saw SMCI chart and I'm looking at it on the intraday chart. I was like, "Oh, this is ugly for SMCI. This is ugly for SMCI." All right, so now that you have this in your head, right? Like, let's just take a look at it real quick and what it holds, what it means, right? So when you look at Wall Street cheat sheet, right, and what this thing talks about, one second. When you look at this and what it talks about, right, and what this thing is giving, it's literally giving you the game. Jeremy, what do you mean when you say it's giving us the game? No, this is what I mean when I say it's giving you the game. It's showing you how you're going to feel through the markets, especially for long term investors. People who are long term investors and they are holding on a particular stock for X amount of reasons or whichever the case may be on why they're like, we don't know what their initial reason is as to why they're holding on to this investment. Like, we don't know, we will never know. Right? We don't know, we won't ever know. But what we do know is this. What we do know is this. When you see things that are like this, you should know that it went through a full market cycle. It went through a full market cycle. Now you're asking the questions, well, Jeremy, what is a full market cycle? Or Jeremy, how is it that during this full market cycle, you know, this was we were able to identify this right here specifically? How is that? How would we know that? Simply by this. Simply by this. This is how you determine what a full market cycle is. This is how you determine what is actually happening and taking place within the markets with certain stocks. Like, if you understand market psychology, market cycles, how it works, it makes trading easier for you. It makes you investing into things easier for you. It just makes it easier for you. All right, so we're doing something today. Here we go. All right, so we sent that out. It makes it easier for you, right? So let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at it for a second. so we could be able to get some understanding. Because when we take a look at SMCI, right, like SMCI literally went through a whole market cycle, and if you traded this, you literally was supposed to take profits right at about $51, and you had ample opportunity there during accumulation. If you didn't take it at $51, then 48.27 would have been like your surest bet, right? On SMCI. I just want to know, what is there any news behind SMCI that we clearly missed? And I don't think we missed anything specifically, just us alone, right? Like we didn't miss anything specifically when it came to this. My only thing is this: is that when those opportunities presented themselves, this was what we got in SMCI. Now there's another one that I wanted to show you all. Like while the market is pulling back, and we're gonna go take a look at ES and MNQ right now. They're consolidating at the moment. We're waiting on big moves to happen, uh, and we're gonna go check those out real quick before we start trading. But y'all ever ate at this place? Why is Cracker Barrel trending on today? How did Cracker Barrel literally? You see this gap of where they jumped from? We're talking clearly at 36.22, and then they have a full jump today and hit a high of relative equal highs here at 48.89 and having a slight pullback. Cracker Barrel? You're kidding me. This is what I'm talking about when I say when our focus is shifted and we're our mindsets are is shifted one way, right? You have things like this that takes off, and you're wondering like, why is this trending in the market? Like we're literally having a pullback on the Nasdaq, and Cracker Barrel. So here's the news on Cracker Barrel. Obviously, right? They're Q3. I told y'all I don't know what is going on today at all. Period. When it comes to to getting it together, right? Like I really truly don't know. But Cracker Barrel Q3 beat estimates aided by litigation settlement. Comps, retail sales, and traffic fell while average check rose. Company raised full year revenue and adjusted their EBITDA guidance. Cracker Barrel halted its large remodel after customers' backlash in Q1. It forced on smaller upgrades, which is in restrooms, retail displays. No major rollout now. Strategy review in 2027 is set. So they beat estimates. Now, let's look at this from a daily standpoint, right? And this is why I say quietly, it's companies that we're not paying attention to who gets the jobs done. Companies who we don't pay attention to can get the job done for you. I mean, they could just get the job done for you. I kid you not. Same thing happened that I showed you with SMCI. That's what happened to them in at the start of July 2025. Or if you go back, right, at March, April of 2025, from this point on, when we had this move here, right? Like, let's look at it. From this move here, boom, 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 boom. Now you're breaking out of that. What is that? It went through a what? What did it go through? We literally just looked at it. Look, is that not the same thing? Is that not the same thing? It's the same exact thing. SMCI is doing the same exact thing as well. It's the same exact thing, people. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. This is what I'm talking about. Now let's go over to SMCI. Jeremy, I don't see it on SMCI because we're not talking about it from a daily standpoint with SMCI. We're talking about it from an intraday trading standpoint on SMCI. And when you look at it from an intraday standpoint with SMCI, now you can see it when we now you see it. This part just hasn't played itself out yet to be able to fill in that gap right here. So with SMCI, obviously, we could expect something major to probably come in July, maybe August. Or maybe even before that. But as of right now, SMCI took a hit today. It took a hit. Here's where it is on the monthly. But it took a hit today. Look at that. Interesting. I do this every single time. I don't know why. So we've been very choppy as of late right now after that move from this morning. So after the move from this morning, we've been very, very choppy. But I just want to go back, man. Like I can't get past what it was that I was talking about with SMCI. Like because it shows itself up time and time again. And I think this is the same thing. Even when we go back to ES and we take a look at ES, let's go to it from an intraday standpoint. When we pay attention to this from an intraday standpoint, um, you can pretty much see what I'm saying when I talk about market psychology. Okay, I mean it's all right here. Look, look at SMCI. This is what happened today on SMCI. Like today's not even over with yet, but when you're taking a look at SMCI and we talk about hand in hand with psychology, market psychology, you're going to start seeing things just like this. This is a real cheat sheet because for whether you are a long-term investor, short-term investor, this cheat sheet right here is a real cheat sheet for you because it takes you through the cycles of emotions, of how you feel, even when you're trading, even when you're day trading. When you're in live day trades and you're in some form of a drawdown. What feeling do you feel when you're in drawdown? This is a real question. What feeling do you feel? You're hoping that price starts to break out. You're hoping. You're down there at the bottom left side of the screen, like how we are right here on SMCI. You're in a hope state right here. You're hoping price breaks out. Then when price breaks out, right? You have a little bit of optimism. Then once the trade fully breaks out, you're in belief of like, okay, I know I was right. Right? And then now you're feeling that thrill as it continues to spike up. You're feeling that thrill, right? It's the same thing with SMCI. So you see that chart, that psychology market chart, right? Now look at SMCI on the intraday chart. When you're looking at SMCI on the intraday chart, do you not see the same exact thing? This is what I've been trying to get people to understand, that you go through all these emotions, even through long-term investments and through short-term investments. But you will be able to identify these. You will be able to deal with your emotions psychologically when you understand market cycle. Because market cycle happens even during intraday trading. You just have to know when to take profits. The minute that you're feeling a thrill, that's when you take profits. But no, our greediness wants to keep us into a trade. Our greediness wants to keep us into a trade. So let's go back to MES. Let's look at what we did today. We're going to drop down to a 3-minute chart, right? And let's just take a look at what it is that we did today. Those shorts did come in, right? We were looking for shorts, and they're not paying itself out. I mean, look at the shorts. They literally panned themselves out today. We caught it literally live on stream. Did we not take our time? That was the main thing, is we took our time. We did not rush the trade. We didn't become anxious. We didn't jump in any longs. We still kept our initial bias, right? We understood that, hey, maybe we get in the manipulated move now during New York, because London session didn't give us anything. Asia session, well, we thought we got the manipulated move in London session. I'm sorry, Asia session. We knew we didn't get anything at all. When you go back and look at what happened during Asia last night, nothing happened. Hopefully tonight during Asia we get a retracement back to the upside. I'm looking to take longs tonight during Asia, because we went below new week opening gap. So once we took below new week opening gap, I'm looking for us to start going long tonight once the market opens back up at 6 o'clock, and we start trading Asia around 7. So I'm looking to go long during that time frame. But as of right now, we're below midnight open. What happened? I said, if we go below midnight open, we're going to be looking for shorts. We cracked below the 50% level. We took it at 618. Look at the entry point, and the shorts played out. We were looking for a 1-to-1, right? We were looking for a 1-to-1 on that trade because we had higher leverage. So our first initial TP was going to be at a 100% level. And then it played itself on out. I mean, this is what I talk about when I say patience is virtue. Opportunities present themselves in the market each and every day. But when we take a look at this from an intraday, let's go to intraday chart with MES. And you tell me if you see anything of what we were talking about with what happened and took place with SMCI through market psychology. You see it? Do you see it here? Consolidation. That's pretty much what's going to happen for the rest until this evening. I don't think we get another move today, guys. I'm gonna just be honest with you. We got to move up. We got to move down on an intraday, right? I don't think we get another move that's big like that. I think we just accumulate for the rest of the day because when you go back and you take a look at what market cycle, what do you see? I mean, is it not the same thing? This is how you determine where we are within the market. This is how you have understanding of the market. When you're seeing things from this perspective, when you're seeing it from this perspective, okay? When you're seeing it from this perspective, you can see, okay, the move was kind of made today. I think the next wave of what we catch going back up, we should be looking for longs tonight, right? When do those longs come in? They may come in at London at 3:30 in the morning. Who knows? But what I do know, or we may just accumulate all throughout Asia, like we did last night. And we had a slight tick below in order for us to push through longs, and that was at around 6 a.m. because we had news coming out right at 8:30. We had CPI coming out at 8:30. That gave us the initial push up. So that was your long right there at CPI. Had you would have taken a trade for CPI, and when we got the opportunity, because we don't do pre-market, right? We could have traded CPI this morning if we wanted to, but we usually wait for New York session to kick in. We could have taken a longer New York session if we wanted to, right at 9:30. I think the exact time was around 9:34 of when we wanted to actually take our position because we was looking for longs. Even when I went back and looked at our video, our stream from this morning, I was like, man, we probably should have taken those longs. We could have had two trades literally out of that had we would have taken our longs back at, it was like around 9:34. So somewhere around here we go. So here is where we could have taken our longs here, guys. Boom. Once we created that order block there, we could have went here and we could have took our long there. And then once we would have got out and took profits, you catch SMTs right here at the top. And boom, we could have shorted right here below midnight open. And we could have rode the shorts too as well. So we could have caught a long and a short. But I was a little bit hesitant on the long because I was very bearish again on today. That is the only reason why. It was, so you could fault me for that, right? But I was more bearish and we didn't take it. We was a little bit hesitant. So it's all good though, right? But if you look at this kind of pretty much shows you that we're done like today, as far as today and us looking for a bigger move to happen today. I don't think that's going to come because when you take a look at market cycle, what do you see? Think about it. You got that move going up. That was this morning, right? CPI this morning. And then you could see us distributing to the downside. That was our 11 o'clock move, right? That came in at 11, like a little bit after 11 a.m. We got the move that we wanted. And then we just been accumulating ever since. We're consolidating. Accumulating too as well. You call it accumulation. But this is where we at. So that's why I was like, if we're looking at it from a future standpoint, today we got the moves that we wanted from our from the standpoint on the future side, right? But I was wanting to take a look at other things, like when I was looking at SMCI earlier today, and I was like, man, what is going on with SMCI? Like seriously. SMCI took a hit. Like, look at it. It's down 18%. And I'm sitting here 19%. I'm sitting here like, wow, SMCI got crushed today. So if super microcomputers got crushed today, what is Nvidia looking like? And that was my next thing of seeing like what does Nvidia look like, because if we're looking at Nvidia, and let me see from an intraday standpoint, Nvidia's down to 202, which is not too bad. Nvidia just been consolidating even all throughout the day. It haven't made an initial big move at all, period. And I think the next big move is to come, and we're looking at 191. And I will be very, this is where I talk about us being caught in this AI bubble, where it leaves us in an indecision in the marketplace, where you have Nvidia, you got SpaceX coming on Friday. SpaceX is getting ready to drop on Friday. It's going to be huge, right? Now, one thing I want you to understand and know about this when SpaceX comes, and we kind of talked about this in our PowerPoint. If I could go to the beginning. Here we go. We talked about this from the beginning of the PowerPoint with SpaceX. With SpaceX comes, I just want everybody to know this is nothing but exit liquidity. If you look at how the market is paying itself out, right? Everything is having a pullback, a significant pullback. So with this significant pullback happening, what do you think is getting ready to happen when SpaceX comes? It's going to cause more volatility. And they're looking for exit liquidity. And for people who are buying in early will become exactly that. Because whether you believe it or not, and I have the audio to prove this to you, and you could go and look this up for yourself. You could literally go on YouTube and be able to look this up for yourself if you choose not to believe, or if you want to do a little bit more research. How many of you know Larry Fink? If you know Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, who is the who holds more assets under their hedge fund than any hedge fund company in the world, right? He talked about where they're going to be getting the money from. He literally said it's coming from the private sector. And guess where the main place of where it's going to be coming from? People who have 401ks and they haven't done anything to go and actually tell whoever their financial advisors are through their jobs or whichever the case may be, who controls like what you can put your money into as far as stocks for your 401k. If you just have a 401k and you never done the necessary things in order to be able to strategically allocate those funds that's going in your 401k, they dump stuff on you and you become the exit liquidity. I kid you not. He said it's going to come from 401ks, pensions, savings. People have savings. It's going to come from there. And he's saying, Jeremy, how? How? It's simple. It's easy. It's easy. That's where all the money is. And you don't think those early on investors who were in SpaceX, who were originally investors in Twitter stock, right? When Elon bought Twitter, let's go to Tesla real quick. When Elon bought Twitter, right? He leveraged Tesla stock to be able to purchase Twitter. So when he did purchase Twitter, right, and those early on investors who did help him too as well, you know what? They never got their money. They never got the return on their investment. And so you know what Elon did? He said, "Hey, instead of me cashing you out right now, what I can do, I have something big that's coming. I'm going to be launching SpaceX and turn it public because it's always been private. So the minute that he decides to take it public, right, and it goes up in value at 1.77 trillion, making it even more valuable than Nvidia, which is the number one company in the world. That's a real profitable company. SpaceX isn't even profitable, and it's already overvalued at 1.77 trillion. That should let you. That's a red flag right there. That is a red flag right there. But people are not paying attention to that. That is overvalued already. And he gave his Twitter investors shares in SpaceX. He gave them shares in SpaceX. So, of course, you don't think that the minute that it is time to sell through insider trading of what they do, that they're not going to sell, and the value of SpaceX, which is sitting at around, what is it? The initial uh public offering is around what, $135 a share, and you think the company is valued at that? You got to be careful. I'm not telling you what to do with your finances, but when you put it all together, you will start to see the pattern and the painting on the wall, and it says, you know what? Instead of me focusing on that, I should just be pushing my narrative towards. Look, I already have it here for you. Space plays. These are my space plays. You should have been taking a look at Rocket Lab, right? All these things are pulling back, giving you. They already done went through uh, the cycle, the trading cycle. Let's go to it on a daily. You look at it from a daily chart, right? Looking at all these from a daily chart, what do you see? Oh, yeah, they all pulled back. The trade had already happened. Yeah. They already are sitting in position to take profits on Friday. They're already sitting in position to take profits on Friday. Here's another company, Lunar, Intuitive Machines, right? They're all pulling back, getting ready for Friday. ASTS, ASTS Space Mobile. Look, this is already getting ready to crack below the 61% level. Now, these are opportunities of what I could say of where you can get these. I would rather invest into these companies than SpaceX. Here's another one, Redwire, RDW. You can see it pulling back. It's getting ready to crack below the 61% level. So if it cracks below the 61% level, what are we looking for? What are we looking for? You can enter into shorts and you can ride it out all the way to around $8.32, in my opinion. We're not looking to go long on any of these. That's what I mean by that. Like, you're getting the opportunity because the trade already happened. So you're getting the opportunity to catch it at better prices than buying at a premium. Don't you? I would rather have these at better prices than buying at a premium. I wouldn't go and jump into SpaceX knowing that it's going to take off into a premium. They're going to sell. I'm gonna be caught holding the bag, And now I got to sit here and hold on to this stock for God knows how long in order to be able to get back into profits and dollar cost average my way in hope of a company that is overvalued at 1.77 trillion and has yet to proven itself through earnings at all. That makes me look like a foolish investor at that point. And this is what separates us, right? Like we have to separate ourselves as far as understanding good investments, bad investments, but it also helps you within your trading. Because when you become a good day trader, right? When you are really good at day trading, you start to make different moves in the marketplace. You make different moves in the marketplace, especially for your long term investments. Look at NASA. What did we say? This is a sweet spot for an entry. An entry for what? Shorts. And so when you look at it right now, is it not in profit? And you could be smart enough to just ride it to $27. Obviously, you could if you was able to buy multiple contracts, then you could take profits at 27.33 and leave a runner just in case it wants to go and retest those lows at 24.04. But it's just being smart and strategic, and you become better with doing this once you understand and being able to do things from a faster standpoint through your intraday trading, right? Like when you're trading and you're day trading for the day, you can do that. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about. This is how I want us to get real savvy in the markets. So not only while we're trading these futures, right? Because it's cool trading futures too as well, but you're not gonna always be making your money during your day trading with futures. Sometimes when your model don't present itself, you still want to be making money. Well, you could still be making money through your options that you have that are trades outside of the futures market. Have you ever heard when they say buy the rumor, sell the news? Buy the rumor, sell the news. The thing is, we didn't get a chance to buy the rumor with SpaceX because it was private. But you can bet your bottom dollar when all this news hit, when SpaceX IPO drops, I'm gonna be looking for puts, like trading wise. I may not touch it like within the first couple of days, maybe. I don't know up until next week. Give it some time a little bit. Obviously, we want to see how price action do, but trust me, I wouldn't invest yet. I would just trade it. If the opportunity presents itself for you to trade, I would trade it. So, you all see what we have going on right now with ES, looking like we having a push to the upside here. So, we're just consolidating. We may fall into accumulation. We will see. We will see. Here we go. So remember when I was talking with us yesterday about power of three? Like when I was saying, hey, this is power of three, accumulation, manipulated move, then distribution. Obviously, it was in reverse on yesterday for us, right? Where we had accumulation, the manipulated move at 9:30, and then we got distribution to the downside. Like this is what I'm talking about when I say power of three. Okay, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Obviously, it can come in any kind of form. You just have to be able to identify the form. Okay, it's not going to be gifted to you with ease. I will tell you that much. Because what you're thinking is accumulation could be manipulation. Or what you're thinking is distribution could be manipulation. I'm sorry. And sometimes the way the market is set up, sometimes the way the market is set up, you can literally go from accumulation and that manipulated move can feel like distribution because the market never returns. Meaning that it does something of what we was talking about earlier today when I say it does something like this, like here, let's do this. Remember when I was talking about earlier when I said, hey, it looking like the market could do this to the upside, right? But yesterday we caught this. We caught accumulation, manipulation, right? Sweep a previous day high, and then we got distribution on down. That was the power of three of what we got yesterday. That's why I was like, oh my goodness, price action is looking so smooth today. Sometimes it's smooth like that and it's easy to identify. That's why we were very bearish. And today, why we was very bearish, but I was a little bit hesitant with taking longs this morning because I felt as though those longs had to be the manipulated move, but I thought the manipulation actually came. I thought the manipulation move actually came from when you look at London. And when you look at London, it was like, okay, it looked like we caught a dip in London, and then we're just going to be hitting distribution on in New York. But in all actuality, no. You can say Asia and London was all accumulation. Manipulation was CPI, right? Because think about how many buyers probably came in thinking that they were going to hold on to their trades, seeing that the trade was moved, like we were trending to the upside. But then we get distribution on later on down to the downside. Like, and then now we're just starting to accumulate. Like we got the bigger move at 11. That's why we were taking our time and didn't engage into the markets. This is how you beat everybody else and you remain profitable as a trader and you have great risk management. Looking for your model, right? What did we do? We could have taken a long, like I said, right? We could have taken that long at 9:30, 9:34 if we wanted to, but we usually don't do what? We don't trade in the first 15 minutes of the market. That's not our model. I would have went against my model and my system had I would have jumped into that trade early. I would have went against everything, all in hopes of chasing money. But my discipline said, nope, hold on for a second, just wait, be patient, allow it to play itself out. Understand what your true key levels are. This is what, um, and if she know who she is, only ones, I'm not even gonna call her name, but she know exactly who I'm talking about. When we were talking the other day about, when we were talking the other day about marking key levels, right? Now you see what I mean when we talk about key levels, like what are the true actual levels of what we should be marking on our charts? All that other stuff, oh, mark this high, mark this low, supply, demand this, none of that matters. because if you don't have a idea as to what price action is doing and being able to read, like we tape read CPI this morning. That was another reason as to why I felt bearish. I was like, when I got up this morning, I was like, you know, I see this move that's happening on CPI, but I'm still feeling bearish that we have more moves to the downside. And where do we go? To new week opening gap. This is how you become great, being able to read. Sometimes it's not about you trading, sometimes it's about you just reading the market. If you could spend time watching the charts, I want you to spend time watching the charts and you're watching for specific time frames to happen throughout the day. So if we was to replay the day and we use the replay button, right? And we go all the way back to New York Open. Market open at 9:30. Once the bell rung this morning, what did we do? We sat on our hands, right? If you can go back, and this is what I highly advise you to do on the weekends, right? Like Friday night, Saturday, if you have time. Like me, I choose to do my back testing on those days where I know the market is not open, so I don't have to feel anxious enough to be able to see live movement within the market. I will go and back test and I will replay. I will pick my days out the week. That's why it's important for you to do what? To journal. Every time you trade, take journal. Put in what were you doing within this time frame? What was on your mind during this trade? What did you see? Even if you don't take a trade and you say, "Hey, I thought I had a potential entry point here at this level here to this level here," and you could just go back and replay the day and see exactly what happened, and you could check and see if you were correct. And the more times you do that, and you go back through your journal, and you can see, wow, man, like I can see my where my emotions was. I could see what my mindset was thinking during this time frame. Now I can determine if I'm good enough to be able to do it in a live market because that's where it starts. You being able to see it first in this market, I mean, in a back testing market, then you'll be able to see it once you go full all out and you're playing with real capital at that point. Because I would not engage into using real capital until I'm able to do three things: understand what my model is, back test my model, see what my win percentage is on that model. Y'all saw when we was looking at our trades from earlier. What were we looking at? What's our win rate? That'll let you know if you're gonna be profitable or not. Because if you have a 20% win rate, it won't be long before you do what? Blow your account. Lose all that money. It won't be long before that happens with a 20% win rate. You want to see yourself between somewhere between 65, right? And above. 50 is good too, right? You could still be have a 50% win rate and still be profitable. I know a lot of traders who have 50% win rates and they're still profitable because they manage risk properly. So if you manage your risk properly, then you're going to be good. So when we're taking a look right now at MES, like all we see is like quick scalps, right? Like quick scalps. No big moves. And we're on a minute chart, y'all. Nothing big yet. All this is quick scalp. This is where like advanced traders are in trades, out of trades very quick, and they're only trading like you're not getting big moves, right? You're getting smaller moves, but with higher leverage, meaning that you're risking more and you probably have a tighter stop and you could easily get wicked out of trades a lot faster. But you know. So we'll see if we could get something here. I'm liking this push up to the upside. I'm really liking this. Maybe we could be able to find something to get us back to midnight open like how we did on yesterday, because that would be an initial target point. But like I said, I don't think we get there today, this afternoon. Cause I'm using Trading View as well. Okay, so who is this? Lil Scrap. Lil Scrap. Who is Lil Scrap? Who is Lil Scrap? I hope that's Nate. Or is that AJ? So we're just gonna be patient though, right? We're gonna be patient. We're gonna wait and see what happens. Obviously, um, the market is putting itself in a very tight squeeze for another big initial move to happen later. And I think that move may come, sometime this week, like on Friday. Like, let's go and take a look at the 4 hour chart and see where we are on the 4 hour. You see why we've been consolidating? Like, look at that. We haven't made any true initial move outside of where we are on this 4 hour chart. No true move has been made as of yet. So we're just consolidating. And what I'm seeing is bear flags. Like, I can see a bear 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 flag forming. Give me 1 second, though. All right, so when we take a look at it on the 4 hour chart, this is what we see going on right now. Do 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 do. Nothing too major, right? One thing that I want you to be able to see is this. All right, here's a flag. That's a flag, right? And you can see obviously the distribution move to the downside. So this is what we would call a bear flag, right? So within this bear flag, this is a bear flag. What happens? the same thing of what we have going on in crypto, right? Like if you go to Bitcoin and you look at it on Bitcoin chart, what are you seeing on Bitcoin chart? It's the same thing. Let's go to Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin on a 4 hour, all you see is what? Now draw that up to the daily. When we charted this, and I could go more so into the weekly with it, look at this on the weekly. Let's do it on a daily. Make it a little bit more pretty for you. Now you see it on the daily. We're literally in that discounted zone off of off of Bitcoin, and I called it. I called it. I literally called it. So let's just take a look at it for a second. You see where buy side liquidity is. You had consecrated encroachment. You had a change of character that happened and took place, and then it just started creating what? It's doing the same thing now. What did it start doing? It started creating those what? Bear flats. Here you go. Boom, 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 boom. Right? That's one. Now, look, it's starting a second wave for another one. Here at the top, boom, come down, boom. Look, this is where price could be able to go to. Filling in these gaps here, boom. And we're looking for further move down. Boom. This is with Bitcoin. It's simple. It's I mean, this is why I was telling people, like I was telling everybody literally, like I was like Bitcoin. People were talking about, oh, Bitcoin going to 250,000 or something like that, or whatever the case may be, and I'm like, what? Not before we travel back down to 49K. Most people are calling for 16,000. They're thinking we're gonna go lower than that. We already cracked below the 50. We retraced back to the 618. We didn't even go all the way to the 618, right? We just cracked and fell right back below the 50, and we just been trending here ever since. Now, if let's just say price do decide to, let's look at it from a weekly standpoint, and I want to use another chart. I want to use another chart. Let's use Coinbase. All right, so and let's go to the weekly. Right, our alert going off. We'll take a look at ES. But you can see it even on the weekly chart. It's even beautiful on the weekly chart. Look at that. Boom. There's your flag. Boom. Boom. Flag. Boom. And now you're looking for something like this. Boom. Boom. That's why. You got a massive draw on liquidity that's here. You have that massive draw on liquidity, right? You have a fair value gap that's here. And you also have fair value gaps that are here, all the way down to 20 something thousand. And this is why I said people were calling 16K for Bitcoin is because of this reason here. This is why. It's not because I say so. No, it's literally because of how the charts are presenting themselves. If you look at how the charts present themselves, then you will be able to dictate and determine what is actually happening within the market. Right now, we're just doing analysis on what is happening with stocks and investments. Right, that's the only thing that we could form right now is just an analysis as to what is happening. So look, we're back at 6:15. Okay, we're back at 6:15. And we're trending around here on Weeble. See when when people share with you what you're looking for, like when I ask people, hey, like what is it that you see within the market? Like share with me what you see. It's so hard to get them to do that. Very, very difficult to get them to do that. And the only reason why it's difficult to get them to do that is because for one, look at it. They can't tell me where their dollar cost averaging at. They can't tell me where buy side liquidity is. They can't tell me where discount zone is, where they should be buying. Should we buy more here? And I tell people all the time, anything that's below whatever it is you dollar cost averaging on, it is a buy. Do I know where we're headed now with this? Absolutely not. But I do know that this can be strong enough to push itself up to the upside. I can tell you that much. I can tell you that accumulating a good chunk of this position can pull you down to where you actually want to be at. I can tell you that much. I could tell you that, hey, if you start looking at companies like who actually going to be needing services, right? Like look at UPS. UPS did exactly what they were supposed to do, right? They reached their high at this point at 122. Oh, we're supposed to be looking at MES because we did get the alert that went off. So still nothing. Still nothing if you ask me. I wouldn't be engaging into this. We're gonna give ourselves about 15 more minutes. And so within that time frame of these last 15 minutes, obviously there is something that I want to show you all. So give me 1 second while I go and grab that. I want to go and grab that for you all.
Scotty C on this one.
Just 1 second, Chad, while I go. All right, chat, we're back. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, right? This is why I say investing is spiritual too as well. Because most people don't think it is, but when I tell you that it is, listen to this. I'm going to read this to you. We're at Proverbs 10:4, okay? It says, poor is the one who works with lazy hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Did y'all get it? Did y'all get that? I'll read it again. Proverbs 10:4. It says, poor is the one who works with a lazy hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. You do what you will with that information. Because with that alone, that should change your whole perspective within your mind. If you're doing nothing, expect nothing. Expect nothing. You shouldn't even be expecting a harvest. Why should you even be expecting a harvest when you did nothing? It tells you literally right there in Proverbs 10:4. Lazy is the poor hand, but rich is the hand that is diligent within his works. Here, let me read it to you from the Sefer. Let's turn this down some. I want to read it to you from the Sefer. We're going to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. And it reads, he becomes poor that deals with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. He that I'm gonna read verse 5 too as well, because it's hitting at something. He that gathers in summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is a son that causes shame. Stop it right there. Stop it right there. That's why I said we had to continue on. You can't just stop at verse 4. You have to continue on past verse 4. Hold on, cut this off. You have to continue on past verse 4 here. Past verse 4, you have to continue on. Jeremy, why? Look, let me read it one more time. Book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verses 4 and 5. Okay? Verse 4 reads, he becomes poor that deals with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. He that gathers in summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is a son that causes shame. What should you be doing right now? Honestly, what should you be doing right now? What should you be doing? You should be gathering. What year? This is the summer. You should be gathering, accumulating. That's why I said the spirit, listen, investing is spiritual, but people don't know how to apply they don't know how to apply it to the market, because they've become so literal. And people who have become very literal, you kind of have to leave them where they are. No, seriously. You kind of have to leave the literal ones where they are. Because if you want to operate from spirit, you're literally going to be operating solely based off of what it is that Yah shows you. I kid you not. That's why I said, man, I am so thankful that I have the eyes to see. I have the eyes to see. If you take away my eyes and I can't see, I at least need to be able to decipher between the BS of what's being said to me. What is a way that I can do that? What is a way that I can learn how to do that? For one, you got to shut off all the negativity and stop operating from a low vibrational standpoint. We got 5 minutes left, but I want to get this out. You have to stop vibrating from a low vibrational standpoint. That's the only way. Coming up out of that root chakra. Seriously.
Because if not, you're gonna keep yourself bounded. Understanding what investing really truly means. It's the same thing when you go and you plant seed. Listen, the church has, that's why a lot of people miss out on the concept of when we talking about seed time harvest. Ooh, hold on. Jeremy, you hitting on something. This is how they miss the concept though. Because they don't understand when to actually sow. They don't understand when they're supposed to be accumulating so that they can be able to sow. But I told you, when you read Proverbs, Proverbs is telling you when you should be accumulating. So when seed time, harvest time comes, you don't have to sit there and be like, I ain't got nothing to sow when it's time for me to sow. No, you got something to sow when it's time for you to sow because you've been accumulating in the summer. Now when it's time to plant seed and be able to reap the harvest from that seed, you did it all within timing. That's why I said spiritual investing applies to it as well. Investing can apply to it. Some of us just don't want to accept that because we're so literal. We're literal within our faith. We're literal within our thinking. We're literal with every single thing, and we don't even understand just the basic principles of the kingdom. He's telling us right here in Proverbs. He made it plain as day, simple. I'm going to read it again. Proverbs chapter 10. We're going to start at verse 4. We're reading verse 4 and 5. Verse 4, it says, he becomes poor that deals with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Verse 5, he that gathers in summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is a son that causes shame. You got to know when to accumulate and when to sleep and rest. You have to know that. But when you don't know that, that's you who's going to cause shame. At one point in time, you could literally sit here. I could be honest enough to sit here and say to you, you know what? I didn't have it all together at this point in time. I didn't understand how to be able to tie in and put two and two together, especially when it came to investing and when it came to understanding it from a spiritual standpoint. But the more that I started operating within my gift, the more that I started operating within what was inside me, the more that I started to see with the eyes that he given me. I once was blind, but now I see. Once I started to see, that's when everything shifted. That's when it shifted within the word. It shifted within my investing. It shifted within my mindset. It shifted within my trading. It shifted within everything it is that I started doing within life. It was a complete, full transformation. And that didn't come from me. That came from Yah. So when I come to people and I share investments with them, I'm operating actually from my gift. I don't play a guessing game. I go based off of high probabilities, A+ setups. And we do it every single day in our trading. We do it every day. We're operating within our gift. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. I just hope that you were able to get something out of this. That's all I care about. So if you were able to get something out of this, give yourself a hand. And we're back, man. We're back on tomorrow morning to take over. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you all soon.